Talk to me about lying.
Which aspect?
Why people lie?
At what age?
Any reason from my son's age 5 to us.
I think it has everything to do with fear. I believe that lies are based on fear in every way, shape, and form. That there's no way around a lie other than I'm afraid I won't get what I want. I'm afraid that if I say this, I'll get in trouble. I'm afraid. There's a fear behind every single lie. Otherwise, why lie at all? If you're trying to get something that you don't think you deserve, or you have to lie your way into getting it, it's based off of fear. I think that 99% of decisions human makes are based off of fear, either subconsciously or consciously.
Could be right.
What do you think?
I mean, fear's a good, you know, I guess I don't typically lie, but when I do, it's usually out of, I guess it would be fear. Like I'm afraid being embarrassed, or if I tell the truth, fear of losing something I already have, fear of not getting something that I want. But usually, or sometimes like a lie to save face or to like look better. But I guess it's all fear based. I'm afraid of looking bad. I'm afraid of losing something. I'm afraid of being embarrassed. I'm afraid of rejection.
Right.
So I guess fear. It's just interesting to think about why people lie. But I guess fear encompasses all of it.
I believe there's a level of greed. You can also lie out of greed. You can lie out of self-preservation in order to elevate yourself in some way.
Yeah.
I believe that people lie in order to elevate themselves, not out of fear, out of like it's doing it almost out of malice, but without a conscious intent of malice. It's just like I know I need to say this in order to get here, whether it hurts these people or not. I don't care. It's not about fear anymore. It's about I want what I want, so I'll say whatever I have to say in order to get it. That's not fear based. It's not like, oh no, I might not get it if I don't lie. It's like, I'm going to lie my way into this. Instead of saying, if I don't lie, I won't get what I want.
Yeah.
I think that's two different mind frames, two different frames of mind that comes from specific types of people. I think that, in my opinion, for me, when I used to lie, because I try every day to do the least amount of lying as possible,
It's
because I have found my life to get easier and easier and easier the less I lie.
Yeah. Well, so realistically, the truth will come out.
And every turd floats to the surface.
So you're always, I'll speak for myself. I'm always presented with two options. I can tell the truth, and let's say it's something that sucks and that it's going to be uncomfortable. I could tell the truth right now and be uncomfortable, or I can wait until the truth surfaces. Then I'm dealing with uncomfort and the fact that you now know that I lied. So now it's like
there might be consequences.
Yeah, and I've doubled down on the pain. Like, I don't know. Lying just isn't worth it, man. To me. I mean, to others it might be, but
was there a time where you believed it was worth it?
Of course.
Like consciously felt, man, this lie is gonna fucking get me what I need. This lie is gonna freaking get me where I want to go. This lie is freaking gonna be the thing for me, man.
Yeah, but it was all, it was usually when I was using,
Yeah.
I had to lie to not be sick.
Right. You know what? I heard you in an interview once say something that was very honest and profound. You said, I am not a gorilla pimp for drugs. You're not going to fucking stick somebody up with a gun. You're not going to do something that is violent you're not going to steal from somebody physically, like hurt somebody in order to get it. You said, I'm a snake. I will slither my way into getting what I want.
Yeah.
I personally would use brute force or intimidation, or I would lie and say I had more than I did, because I'm a disabled veteran and people know that I get a monthly income for life. It's easier to tell a plug or a dealer
You know, I get my
I'll
check
pay
on the
you.
first.
I'll pay you back on the first,
Yeah.
and then go
Because it's a fact, you will have the money on the first, whether or not you give it to them.
right.
Is
Call
another
them
story.
or
Yeah.
anything else, but because what I would always do is I would always pay. So it looks like my money's good.
Yeah.
And then at about the 7th, 8th payment is when I'm going to start fronting, and then front enough to where it's worth it to not pay.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That wasn't me intimidating anybody, but what would happen is they would think twice about coming after me for the money, because they thought they see that as it would be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Or it would take a lot of criminal activity in order to get that money back.
Yeah.
You're going to have to bring more than one person, and you're most likely going to have to bring a weapon that you hope I don't have as well. Otherwise, I'm going to make sure you're going to work for every ounce or gram of dope I got from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, but if you want it back, you're going to have to really work for it.
Yeah.
Why do you think people lie in relationships? Now, as adults, as grown adults, two adults that say they love each other and lie to each other daily. I naturally am not like that, so it's hard for me to wrap my head around it. And if you can enlighten me,
I can try. So, I unfortunately think that I've heard people say that everybody cheats, and they believe it to their core. And
I think cheaters say that.
So, I mean, of course, but the person who said it to me, their parents had, their dad had cheated on their mom. So they were raised thinking, and then their first few sets of boyfriends did as well. So they were like kind of,
this is how it goes.
This is just what it is. And then until one day they get in a relationship and someone doesn't. And they're like, oh, wow, maybe that's different. Until that relationship, that girl believed that, like, this is just a fact of life. It just is what it is. It doesn't mean they don't love you. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people's idea of love encompasses lying to preserve feelings. Like, well, I said I love her, so I don't want to hurt her, and telling her the truth will hurt because I am a human and I've behaved in a manner that will cause pain, and because I tell her I love her, that means I'm going to preserve her feelings. So if I have to lie, that's just part of love. I said I love you, which means I'm not going to intentionally hurt you. I did some stuff behind her back, but to preserve her feelings, to show her I love her, I won't let her find out. That way she's not hurt, and I love her because I'm not hurting her. When really, you should have never done the behavior that you have to lie about. But I think a lot of people
can justify.
Yeah. I'm just a guy, I made a mistake, but
if I tell the truth, it'll cause more damage than if I lie.
Yeah, and she might not love me the way that
she is right now. It might change the way that I'm being treated.
And the right thing to do would be to give that person all the information so they can make an educated decision and decide whether or not they want to love you. But
right.
That's scary.
I think it'd be better to have an awareness of how well you're being treated and saying, hey, if I do this action and this person finds out, will that treatment change? If the treatment you'll receive would change, I believe the action should just be eliminated from your mind. If you like the way you're being treated, at what point does someone realize it's them that has a problem, it's not the other person in the relationship that's treating them well lacking somewhere. If you're cheating on somebody because you think that's what happens in relationships, and somebody that you're with hasn't had those experiences, like my mom left my dad for his brother. Yeah. It's not okay. And then I had multiple girlfriends. My first multiple cheat on me, like in the worst way, with people I knew.
Yeah, welcome.
I wasn't prone to cheating unless I thought the girl that I was cheating with is who I was going to date next.
Justification, but I understand.
Right. But I would lie to the person I was with for months while I was pursuing another person. That was my 20s. That was what happened in my 20s until the day I fell in love. When I was 26 years old or 25, I fell in love for the first time in my life. And the person I was with fell in love with me. Now, if you've ever been in love with somebody who's in love with you, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
It will change your outlook on relationships forever. I believe that. And when I say I was in love with somebody and they were in love with me, what I mean is there was complete trust in the relationship in every way. I didn't doubt her. Anything she said, anywhere she went, anything she did, I believed her off her word, because no actions of any of her actions ever indicated that she was lying or that I had a reason not to trust her.
That's how relationships are supposed to be.
She never tried to report to me what she was doing. Like, now when somebody reports to me what they're up to, I'm like, what's been going on in your life to where... Growing up, when my mother left my father, he was already struggling to keep the house together with 7 kids and a wife. He painted apartment buildings for a living.
My grandfather did that.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He painted buildings?
Wallpapered.
Oh,
painted,
yeah. So my father was the same thing. He was a painter at the time, before he became like a maintenance man. So he was working 12 to 15-hour days. And then when my mom left, she went for half. She left him for his brother and then wanted half. And left her sons with him, my dad. So she brought 2 kids into the relationship and left them with him and said, I'll let you keep the house if you let my sons stay there. But you have to take half of the house's worth, and pay it to me in cash. So my father, luckily we lived next door to my grandparents, and my grandparents bought half of my dad's backyard and made it into like their backyard into an L shape in order for him to not have to sell his home. But due to that divorce, my father, we became extremely poverty ridden. So I didn't have a pair of shoes that was bought in a store, I didn't have a pair of name brand shoes until I was in junior high, and I think it was 8th grade. And my dad took me to Ross for we were going to a funeral or something, and he needed to give me a dress shirt. And there was a pair of Duff skating shoes for $22. And I said, Dad, can I get these shoes? I need new shoes. And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So that was my first pair of name brand shoes, and they were skate shoes. I was eighth grade. I just learned to start skateboarding.
Are those like Etnies? Or like
yeah, they'd be like,
TCs? Okay, yeah.
Duff wasn't as big of a company. I think they made skateboards.
Okay.
I can't remember, to be honest, but I just remembered that kids at school knew that Duff shoes were a name brand. So I wasn't going to get made fun of, because I hated when people ask me, what are those? Because there's no tag, there's no...
You tell me, I don't know.
And then I would have to say Attack Force or whatever the shit was that they had. And that was embarrassing growing up in LA. It was very embarrassing. Kids would laugh at you if you had shoes that weren't name brand. They would literally laugh at you and point at you and
it's LA.
Make you feel like you're less than a human being because your parents couldn't afford to put clothes and shoes on you that have a name brand. So I'm walking home 2 weeks after I get these shoes. My dad, we'd have to walk home from school. It was about 2 miles. And I'm walking with my buddy Anthony Fiumani. Shout out Anthony, doing great nowadays. Love you, buddy. And Andy Wool, punk rock. This kid was so cool. But they were both great skateboarders. And they took me in. You know, I didn't have many friends in 6th and 7th grade until I met these kids, this group of skateboard kids. And they took me in. So I got these Duff shoes, right? We're walking up a hill. 2 high school kids are walking down, and we're like, shit, we know what time it is. It's 1996. We know what time it is. And they run our pockets. And they said, give me those shoes. And I said, I'm sorry. I'll give you my pants before I give you these shoes. This is the first. I said, I can't give you these shoes. And I got jumped. I got beat up really bad. But I wouldn't let them take the shoes off of me. I curled up and held the shoes. They took Anthony's jacket. They took his $4. They took Andy's skateboard. We walked to my house. My brother Shane had just gotten out of juvenile hall. And my brother Ricky was home. And we told them what happened. And they jumped in the car and came back with all our stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't need to tell the story of what they did.
Who knows?
Yeah, they got our stuff.
Undisclosed.
And, yeah, but some of the stuff came back wet with me. You know, not mine.
Pee-pee.
Yeah, but I got jumped bad, and I was not giving those shoes up because the first time in my life I wasn't getting made fun of for the clothes that were on me.
Yeah.
And you weren't about to take them.
No.
That was the first time that I stood up for myself in that way. I was so afraid of fighting. Like, one of my cousin's best friends was the first person to ever beat me up. And now we're good friends today. His name's Sal Gonzalez. He's a scary dude.
Yeah.
He's a white graveyard crip.
I don't know what that means.
He's a white person in a black gang.
Oh, like Alistair.
Yeah, they call him Ghost. No. No.
Oh, you mean a real one?
Yeah, a real one. This dude's a real crip
Yeah.
from Santa Monica.
Yeah.
And he whooped my motherfucking ass, dude. He taught me something I needed to know.
Yeah.
But it made me afraid of engaging in fighting. So my brother, luckily I was always in school with my brother Kenny, and that really helped prevent a lot of bullying. But
Which is weird because Kenny's smaller than you now.
No, but
You know?
not back then. We were the same size, or he was a little bigger, an inch or two, and he always weighed a little more than me. So everybody, when we got to high school, though, is when I decided I'm not going to allow this anymore. And we had a big group of friends, so there's more peer pressure there's more peer pressure. If this was the 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
In LA, there was a lot of peer pressure to fight when somebody called you out. If you didn't, people wouldn't hang out with you. You know, people were less likely to be your friend. People were less likely to trust you with things. Like, people weren't going to smoke weed with you. And that wasn't about to happen on my watch.
Yeah.
We were going to smoke weed. I remember Jesus, he sold nickel bags. He had a tin. He brought them every morning, and he would pour them out on the auditorium floor. And I swear. And everybody would rush to get the biggest bag. Yeah. And everybody would be throwing their $5 down. You know, I'd only be able to get my weed when my dad gave me lunch money.
Yep.
Which was very rare.
Yeah.
I loved my soggy sandwiches and fruit snacks. I complained about that one time to somebody, and he looked at me and was like, "Your dad packs you with lunch every day?"
And you're like, all right, I'll shut up.
I was like, Jesus, I didn't even think of that. I was complaining about how soggy the sandwich
You're
was.
complaining about your dad loving
How
you.
many parents didn't even try?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't nice about it, and
That's okay.
the sandwiches came out to be peanut butter jelly burritos by the time we ate them. But you know what? My father packed me and my brothers a lunch every single day before we left to school. He prepared us a lunch. And I never knew how much. That's how my father showed love.
Acts of service.
The way he took care of us
Yeah.
is how he says, "I love you." And I just didn't know that my father loved me until I was old enough to look him in his eyes and ask him, "I'm your son. Do you love me? Because I don't know. I can't tell." And he looked at me, and my father doesn't cry, and he had tears in his eyes, and he says, "Do you think I love seeing my son in pain? Do you think I love seeing my son hurting? You are my baby. Of course I love you." And it made me feel so fucking bad for asking him that question. Because as I get older and I have a son, I realize exactly how hard it is to make sure your child knows what they need to know to be an adult. And luckily, my father was hard on me in that way so that I cannot be that way with my son.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think my dad, if he watched this, would be upset that I said this. I don't think he's in any denial about the way that he expresses his love language. His love language is different than most people's. He just doesn't, he has a really hard time saying, "Hey man, you know I love you, right? Hey, I understand, hey, I'm upset, but you know I still love you."
It was a different era, dude.
Yeah, and he was raised by a man that was in the Depression.
Yeah,
my grandmother and my grandfather went through the Depression.
Men were just different.
Yeah, he was.
You had to be.
Secretive, too. Very secretive.
Yeah, I think that all goes back to, fear of how you're going to be viewed. Because, men weren't allowed to do what men can do today.
In what way?
I could say that my feelings are hurt, or that I feel left out. I feel abandoned. I'm kind of feeling,
uncared for.
Yeah, I can say that. And when I was in high school, someone said that shit, I'd be like, The fuck did you just say?
That would
Go sit at the other table.
a nightmare.
Yeah, and that's only what, 20
Go
years?
sit at the other table. There's gonna tell you go sit on the
Someone
grass.
might hear you say that, and they
Oh
might
my
think it was me that
goodness.
said that. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
But you know, I wasn't okay with who I was in high school.
But weren't you like a popular kid in high school, like a jock and stuff like that?
Yeah, but like I mean,
Did you get attention?
yeah.
That it was very opposite for us because everything was so like segregated. Like our schools were set up like the California prison system.
Segregated by race?
Yeah.
I played football. It was
Okay,
all
so that
races.
was okay. So,
Like you didn't
thespians-
have black kids sitting at your lunch table?
like we didn't sit at tables. We like held down a certain part of the school. Like every group.
Oh,
had
was it
their
like
own-
an outside courtyard or something?
It was an open campus, which means there were no fences,
Oh, we don't
no
have
gates.
that. We had a cafeteria.
Yeah, this is Venice High School, so it was built in like 1910 or something, 1915.
Oh.
So it was like we still had boilers for heaters in the classrooms.
Yeah,
You know what a boiler
I
radiator
do,
is?
of course.
Yeah,
I had
so-
radiators in my house.
Okay, so yeah,
The furnace that was
it
made
an
of
open-
cast
yeah.
iron. It would just get really hot.
And underneath
steam would go
the
into
house
it.
was a boiler.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the school was broken up by gangs. So there was a Mexican gang, there was a black gang, and then there was affiliates. And then there was like the small group of white kids that were all like usually on the swim team, the volleyball team, or the softball team, and baseball.
Okay.
So where you saw the integration was on sports teams, football and basketball especially, was integration, and then drama. So like if you were a thespian,
I did both.
I didn't play any. I swam,
Okay.
but because we had one of those candy drives, my brother Kenny and I, we ate all the candy and then whatever we sold, we kept the money.
Yeah.
We got kicked off the swim team.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I was poor. You know what
That's
I mean?
okay.
And I smoked Jesus's weed. So it was like, here's your $10, and let me get as much candy as I can.
Yeah.
So we got kicked off the swim team, but my brother and I were both thespians.
Okay.
I got kicked off of it, of course, because I decided to try and get as many girlfriends as I could from the ensemble, which were like the girls that danced.
Okay.
They didn't have roles, they didn't have lines, they were just like the ensemble. You know what I mean? Like the extras in a play.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You know, So I was in a
Yeah.
music. I was in a musical. So there were two large male and female ensembles.
Yeah.
That were like they danced while the main characters
Understood. Yes, I know.
It was
exactly.
West Side Story.
Got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So due to my escapades with girls on the ensemble, it caused problems.
You were slutty.
I was told I couldn't be in the next play. So I was allowed to be on stage crew.
Ah.
Do you remember what
Of
stage
course.
crew was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Help
so,
set up the
Yeah, we did all the sound, the miking, everything, lighting, everything like that. So I snuck my way back in by doing stage crew because my brother Kenny was doing it. And I didn't like being away from my brother during those times because anything could happen. There was gang wars going on. It was dangerous to take the bus home. It was dangerous to walk home. It was dangerous to do just about anything at that time in the late 90s in LA. That was the end of it, but at the same time, it was so active on the streets. There was so many people that were ready to engage in acts of violence outside. This is pre-cell phone.
Yeah.
This is pre-phone in the face. So people were just outside
looking for
drinking
something to
40s
do.
and
Yeah,
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking for something to do.
Yeah.
And when you were a white kid in a predominantly black and Mexican neighborhood, you are the thing that you're an easy target.
Yeah.
Or so they thought.
Until you're not.
Until you're not.
Yeah.
So when I got to high school, I decided I'm not going to be targeted for my race. So as soon as somebody called me white boy in a derogatory tone, I was willing to engage in physical violence with them. Because I felt if you're going to judge me and make me feel like I'm weak because of my skin tone, I have to show you I'm not. I have to. So that's when it changed. It was about 10th grade. Because people were really weary of starting a fight with somebody that has a brother in the same school with them.
I believe that.
And I was 6 foot at 15. And so was my brother. I had a goatee at 17. So I was able to buy alcohol for everybody at, at 17.
Yeah.
But my brother and I were over 6 foot, over 200 pounds. It just didn't look like a good time to start a fight with two brothers. Because brothers, my dad said, if you come home with a black eye, you better have one too. If he comes home with a black eye, you better have one too. He raised us to jump people, to fight unfairly.
Yeah. Well, define unfairly.
Well, he just said, don't ever let your brother get beat up in front of you.
Yeah. That's fair.
There were times that we both came home with black eyes.
Yeah. I'll come home with black
and
eyes.
he was just happy that we didn't we didn't let the other get banged up.
Yeah, alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's I'm glad I was raised that way. My brother Kenny and I are still to this day best friends.
Yeah, he's like 20 feet behind us through a few walls.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
And he's happy that we're doing this. Yeah. And he loves you just as much as he loves me more than you, but
yeah,
he really does care about you.
He respects me.
He respects you, dude. And that means the most. That means so much to me because he says Jack is welcome here at our home anytime.
Yeah.
And we're doing this at our home.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
We have where else would we do it?
Not outside.
I mean, we could do an episode outside.
We could try.
Yeah.
But what about crickets? But what if it hopped on you?
I hate bugs, dude.
Dude, I'm so weird with bugs. I enjoy stepping on some, and then some I'm like, hey, don't step on that. It's a ladybug.
I always had this fear that I am afraid of small bugs. I always thought that they would crawl in my pee hole.
Literally?
Yeah.
Not your ear, but your pee hole.
My urethra, dude. My pee hole.
You never thought about your nostrils or your ears?
No, because I can... How do you...
What about... You can't pop a fly out of your ear.
No, but on its way in, I can blow air out.
Right, okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
I just always was afraid stuff would crawl in my pee hole. And then how do you get it
like
out?
An ant? Like an ant would crawl in there?
Yeah, dude.
And then it's yours.
Or I'm his. I don't know. I don't know what happens. But I was always afraid of that.
That gave me a chub, sorry.
Yeah?
Saying, or you were his. I never know. I never know. Because, with you,
yeah,
I question my sexuality,
Yeah?
You're so beautiful.
I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that.
I'm joking.
I don't.
But you are beautiful.
Appreciate that.
But my sexuality thing, I'm still, maybe I'll, tug a pecker.
Yeah.
Never have, but
I'm pushing on my taint right now with my vape under here. Right? Take a peek.
I won't.
Okay.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Do you ever push on that, like between your butthole and your balls? It's nice.
It is.
It adds a little girth if you're hard and you push on that fucker. It's nice.
Man, you take a deep breath.
You don't need any additions, but I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, I'm working out.
Yeah. 3.5 is tough to deal with, dude.
Dude, you're so weird when you say that.
On a good day.
I love that you say that. You know what's funny is I think that you like to juxtapose because of how handsome you are.
Yeah.
You like telling people, "Oh yeah, but I have a small penis," which just isn't true. You may think you do. I know, exactly.
No, I mean, like,
you just
statistically,
it's
fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You say it on purpose. I noticed this about you. You like to say it because I think people get around you and can be literally intimidated by your looks.
Yeah, that happened recently. Oh, where was I? I was somewhere. I must have been at a checkout line at, like, Ralph's or something.
Yeah.
And self-checkout, and this girl walked up to me who was working there. She was young. This is actually interesting. She walked up and she was like, are you ready? And I was like, I'm not sure. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, it's okay. But then I was ready, so I went and started checking out, and it's like, hey, can you change 100? And she was like, yeah, I could change 100. So I gave her 100, and she came back, and she was like, she gave me the change, and she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, that's the second time you've apologized to me. What's going on? She was like, you're just so handsome, and I'm just, like, embarrassed, and I'm not really sure how to behave. And I was
she said that out loud?
Yeah. Yeah.
What an emotionally intelligent young lady.
And I was like, and I was like, I'm so flattered, but, like, and then I started talking to her, and I was like, it's really flattering, and, like,
how sweet of her to say that.
It was super sweet. And I was like, honestly, if I wasn't in, like, a really healthy, loving relationship, I'd probably give you my phone number. But, like, don't ever let the look of a man intimidate you. And I was like, because most guys that look like me are fucking assholes. And you're a beautiful girl. Don't ever let a guy intimidate you. And I was like, what's your name? I want to say her name was Kelsey. I think it was Kelsey. And it, like, made her fucking day, dude. She was like, I shouldn't let handsome guys intimidate me. I was like, yeah, you shouldn't. Like, they're just guys. I'm just a guy. And if you knew how stupid I was, you probably wouldn't be behaving this way. But it was just like, it was nice. It was just like a nice conversation. But she kept apologizing. So I took the time and I was like, that's the second time you've apologized. What's going on? And she was honest.
And she just outright with it.
Blushing. She's like, you're just so handsome. And I just don't know how to behave. And I was like, that's wild. You shouldn't. She was like, a pretty girl.
Yeah.
But
how old do you think she was?
She told me she was 26. I was like, I'm going to be 40. I could be your dad. She's like, it was just.
She's like, that doesn't matter. She's like, I don't give a shit.
It was just, it just turned into like, it was a very short conversation.
Of course.
And it was in Riverside. And when I got back to my house, Megan was like, what took you so long? I was like, actually, it's funny how I just. So
you explained the story to your old lady?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how'd she take it?
She was like, what's her name?
Instantly.
Yeah.
Listen, what's her name and where does she? Which store?
Yeah. She was
Which
like,
store?
what's your name? Yeah. And I was just like, I think it was Kelsey. She's like, okay. But she was joking. You know what I mean?
Of course, man.
But
you have an enviable, healthy relationship.
Yeah, it's out of control.
It's so cool to me. The relationship you have with your girl is like.
Her emotional intelligence makes me look like.
Yeah, but Jack, you question.
Homer Simpson, dude.
Brother, you question everything you do to make sure that you're like not hurting her.
Oh yeah.
And you're literally taking care of her needs.
Yeah.
And I believe she's working at the same speed, the same intensity to do the same exact thing for you.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, other than like in a video where they're like, you see the two people saying like, I appreciate you because you was born and you're the most perfect creature God ever made, and I'm the only person that may see it, but I see it.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos?
But it's just a clip, and then outside of that, they don't like each other.
Yeah, she smacked him in the parking lot like, you didn't mention my hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your guys' relationship, at least you just thank you for being open with me about when we talk as friends,
yeah,
which is often, we talk more off camera than we do on camera.
Of course.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But
we talked for 2 hours yesterday just driving.
We're both in traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, that was. Oh man,
but I'll talk.
That's a story.
And it's cool because I'll call you and talk to you and ask you advice. You're not in a relationship,
right?
But I'll still call you and be like, "Hey, man, this is the situation. This is how I feel. This is how I wanna respond. Is that stupid?" And you're like, "Yeah, or no, I think that's appropriate."
Right.
And it's not like, so a veteran who needed help would call you because you've been through it. Right. I don't think you've been in a relationship like I am, but I still call you and ask. Because I respect your opinion and I know that you're not dumb.
I believe I can give you objective advice. I try to look at both sides because I believe your girl treats you so well.
Yeah, and you make that clear when I ask you.
100%.
Yeah. I
made it clear to her the other day as well. On your guys' anniversary, I messaged her to let her know, hey, you help my friend be a better person, and he helps me be a better person. So indirectly, thank you so much for being you. Yeah. I told her that, and she was just like, "Oh, Hutch, you're so cute." And it's like, that's
like
all she needed to say.
It's just 5 feet, and she's like, "Oh, you're cute."
She's like, "Oh, Hutch, you're so cute." And it's like, I didn't take it. I took it as like, she probably was like, "Oh."
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how sweet.
Yeah.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be honest with her. I just wanted to let her know, hey, please keep doing whatever the fuck you're doing, because I'm getting the best version out of my friend right now.
Yeah.
So because I respect her so much and the way she treats you, I'm going to give you objective advice, hoping to God you don't fuck this up.
Yeah, you're telling me.
But if you ask me for advice, I'm going to give you the advice that I believe will be the most constructive for both of you.
Yeah. And
it's never just like, okay, Jack, whatever you need, I'm on your team.
Right.
This is how, if I'm on your team, bro, I should be thinking about your team as well.
Yeah. So I remember being younger and calling a friend and being like, hey man, this is the situation. And they'd be like, fuck her, dude.
Yeah.
I have no people in my life where I call and I'm like, hey, this is the situation, who would ever be like, fuck her, dude? They're like, well, what did you do
Yeah, like,
to make her have that response? Because I know
people don't just act that way for no reason.
Yeah, especially a girl like that. Like, what'd you do, dude?
Especially a great, like, you have a, But how did you guys meet?
Hinge.
Is that an app?
Yeah, it's a dating app.
I've never heard of it. I personally, now that I see that it's worked, maybe I'll try it. But right now, I'm so focused on work and so focused on what we're doing and
it was
my other venture. Like, it was. See, that's how I think it's going to happen for me.
Yeah.
Is it'll end up happening when it's supposed to, because every time I seek out a relationship, wow, does it get unhealthy quick.
Yeah. I wasn't she's the first girl that I spoke to since getting divorced. I took a break. I didn't even talk to girls. Only reason I went on Hinge was because my buddy was like,
try it.
You're fucking getting annoying. You need to start talking to some girls because I can't keep listening to this shit, dude. And he was like, don't even go on dates. Just like go on there and message chicks. Like just talk to females because I'm sick of listening to you. I can't do it anymore, dude. Like I don't have any answers. So I was like, all right, fine. But you set a radius on how far you want to show you women.
How far away, yeah.
So my radius was on 20 miles, and I'm in Riverside. She lives 76 miles away. For some reason, it put her in my thing, and I was like, ooh. And
she's beautiful.
Yeah, crazy beautiful. And, like, her pictures were, like, her fucking having, like, a tomahawk steak and taking a bite out of it. It wasn't, like all the duck
faces and all the like the selfies.
No, and it was
those
like
are
her,
so annoying.
And it was like her in like a baseball cap on a run, and like her holding the tomahawk steak, or like
she
and one was her giving
she
the
wanted
finger.
you to see who she actually was. She was actually presenting herself as she is.
Yeah, and it was nice.
So that's cool because she was actually saying, "Hey, I'm." She presented herself as authentic. So what's going to be attracted to that?
Yep, me.
And an authentic person.
And when I first hit her up, she was like, not having it, dude.
Dude, I gotta stay away from these duck faces because I think they're cute. I'm like, oh, look at all those duck faces.
It's
How
cute. I mean,
why do you think you have like? I truly could never be with a girl that looks different when they go to sleep and when they wake up. Man. If your eyelash gets stuck to the pillowcase, I'm weirded the fuck out.
I'm not into it.
If it takes you 2 hours to get ready and it's more than just clothing, if it takes 2 hours for you to get dressed, that's one thing.
To be fair, I won't hang out with guys that take an hour to get ready. I'm not. It's not just women. You know what I mean? In high school, I remember I had a buddy who would like always be late, and he'd always like have his sleeves rolled up and like shave his chest right before he goes anywhere and like
do some push-ups like Sylvester Stallone before he goes on the screen. Yeah,
this kid Dan. I love you, Dan. I won't say your last name.
I wish he would.
He's
just Dan. I want to hang out with you.
All
either,
of
buddy.
our friends would always be like, "Where is fucking Dan, dude?" Yeah, and it was just like,
don't worry, he's rolling his sleeves up right now.
Yeah, I'm not with that, man.
He's got to fix his. He had like a little. What do you call those things?
Like a lapel?
Like the male version of the thing you put on a girl for homecoming.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know you.
Not a croissant.
Croissant. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
for like a prom.
Yeah, he would have it every time he went out. He'd have to have his little.
It was just a lot. I just can't.
Sorry, Dan.
I wake up and go, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely awake. When I wake up, I don't want to go back to sleep.
Dude,
Is that weird?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it's healthy. You shouldn't go back to sleep. Do you wake up with a boner every time?
Chub.
Yeah.
At the least.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also sometimes share my bedroom with my son.
Yeah.
So naturally that doesn't happen.
No, I just mean like
No. I'm saying if he doesn't want to come in, if he doesn't want to come in the room, sometimes he'll get scared and say, "Dad, can I stay in the room?"
Oh yeah.
If he does, then I naturally just have it just doesn't happen when I wake up. But if he doesn't, it will.
Oh, I get them all the time.
So it's like a subconscious thing.
I can sleep in bed with my mom. I'll get a fucking boner when I wake up.
Man, I would literally like go run in the bathroom and punch myself in the face.
Really?
If I woke up next to my 10-year-old with a boner, yeah, I would. I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
You were asleep.
I understand, but what if the poor kid woke up and was like, Jesus, Dad, what's going on over there?
Say you'll fucking learn when you turn 13 or 14. What do you mean? It's just a boner.
Just a boner.
Yeah.
Who?
What do you mean, dude?
How?
It's just a thing that
It's
happens.
just a thing.
It's like nipples getting hard. For girls, it's
When
like,
it's
oh, it's
cold,
cold.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I woke up. Sorry. I got a raging fucking hard on, dude. It's not your fault. No, it's a sign of healthy testosterone. No, I mean, serious.
I believe you. I believe you.
That's how you can know if you have low testosterone. If you wake up without boners, it's like a sign.
Are you serious?
Yes. That's why I was asking originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a sign of healthy testosterone levels.
Man, when I was in the Army, I was healthy as fuck.
Yeah.
Bro, I would have wet dreams, dude. When I was in jail,
I used to hate.
or when I was in the army, when I was in like basic, when I was in jail.
Detox, dude. I'd wet dream all over.
What is it about like when you're not I don't want to call it incarceration, but when you're like institutionalized?
Yeah.
What is it about having wet? Why do you have wet dreams?
I think I was because
I've had one in every institution I've ever been in.
Me too. Every detox, I would have them like every night. Dude. Well, because I'm coming off of heroin. I haven't felt anything in so long. You know what I mean? All of a sudden now I got all these feelings.
I can't agree with you on that.
Really?
I was in love with somebody on heroin, and I still believe to this day I have never been treated as well, or never loved somebody as much, or never been loved by somebody as much as I did with that girl, and we were both on heroin intravenously.
Oh no, I've been in love on
no,
heroin.
and I was able to get have a sexual relationship,
me too,
a very
me
healthy
too.
sexual
Me
relationship.
too. I'm saying.
Yeah.
For me, using opiates
By
just like
yourself.
numbs me so much that when I'm coming off, I'm feeling all these things, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, boners next to your boy.
no, bro, I'd have a boner in my own mouth if it was possible. You know what I mean?
I would like
Act
to
like you wouldn't. Act like you wouldn't.
I never leave the house if I could fellatiate
See?
myself.
See?
I would never leave the house.
I'd leave the house. I'd just do it in the morning.
No, I would fall in love with doing it to myself.
I could help.
You know, maybe some training.
We look like each other. You know what I mean?
It'd be like holding a mirror.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Yeah.
You have different color eyes, but I can stare at them all day.
What color are your eyes?
Green?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. You want to bet me money?
They're honey. They're like yellow, dude.
Okay, sorry. They're prettier than I thought.
Yeah, I'm colorblind though.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Like diagnosed?
Is that a diagnosis?
You have to usually they do tests and diagnose you colorblind or not. You don't just say, "Hey, I think my grays are off."
No, people always have made fun of me my whole life because they'll be like, "Oh, look at that pink shirt." They're like, "That's orange." I'm like, "It's not." You know what I mean? They'll hold up two colors next to each other and be like, "Which one's which?" I'm like, "Those are both pink."
Okay, so you're certified. Yeah, you're certified.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the doctors would do.
I don't need a doctor to tell me what colors I see. You know?
Right, but I'm saying to become to say I'm classified as you would need to do a test that you'd need to go through a medical testing in order for a doctor to say I have diagnosed him colorblind. You would not be eligible for the military.
Thank God, dude. I would not make it.
I don't believe that you were a great athlete.
I would make it, but I would be so fucked up, dude.
If you went through like what I did.
Yeah, man.
You would have been able I know a lot of guys
I think
that
I'd
just
lose my shit, dude.
Dude, half my unit is in the wind, bro.
I'd lose my fucking mind.
Untrace, you can't find them. They're in the wind, dead, who knows. But the other half, we are all...
I guess I would either be like the best person ever. You know what I mean?
At it, yeah.
Or like I would just have like dedicated myself to getting better and I would just be like, you know, David Goggins. Or I would just be like Jeffrey Epstein. That's a bad example. That's a horrible example.
I hope... Jesus. In what world? Where did that come from?
I was trying to think of like a deplorable just piece of shit.
That is pretty... Yeah.
I don't like young kids.
Bill Gates,
I should,
yeah.
I
would say Bill Gates.
Yeah. Hitler. Is
that
better?
That's a pretty terrible fucking human being.
Yeah. Then that's what I'm going for.
He's pretty terrible.
He didn't like kids though, right?
I don't think he liked anything.
I think he just...
He didn't like meth. He loved the meth.
Yeah. So these are bad examples. I feel like
so let's get back to what we were talking about. Yeah. So what I want to say is this. I respect you so much as a friend.
Yeah.
Damn, we lost this topic.
I know what we were talking about because I was going to say that the day that I finally do meet your dad, I'll thank him for the way that he raised you. You know what I mean?
So?
It's my choice. Yeah, I'll thank him.
Oh, okay. You're allowed to.
It's not up to
He's
you,
a great
dude.
guy too. My dad's
Yeah.
like, and if like when my dad now knows,
If that motherfucker makes me pancakes,
bro, he makes a killer set of pancakes. Did I ever tell you this? Here's a crazy story about my father. This is how cool he is, man. So, my little brother and sister are really my niece and nephew.
yes.
But my father adopted them when they were 1.5. Their names are David and Heidi.
I know me some David.
I love these kids.
Yeah.
They are the. Oh my God.
We'll have David on
I
at some
love
time.
my little brother and sister like they're my own children. I swear to God.
We could
Because
have him on, but he'd take up this whole space.
and you know, he got 8 months ago. He was shot in the back with a .45 caliber handgun
Yeah.
at point blank range, and he was walking 2 days later. He was shot in his lumbar. All of the bullet with a hollow point. All the bullet fragments are still there.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. The miracle happened. He was walking 2 days later. Right now, he's at work.
Yeah.
Like doing plumbing or something.
Yeah.
Or lifting heavy wood.
Yeah.
But these two babies, these two kids, are so important to the way that I look at things. So my father adopted them.
Legally.
Right? Legally. Yeah, my sister left to Hawaii and had 3 more kids that she raised. So I felt that my baby brother and sister, my niece and nephew, were going to need an extra amount of attention and love from their brothers and sisters in order to compensate for what they were going to see on social media.
Yeah.
How their real mother is openly raising 3 other children happily and abandoned them completely and never came back and tried to get them. Ever. Not once. I think she knew that they were better taken care of by my parents. But
Still.
my father, so what happens is my little brother David gets a call from one of my little cousins. We crashed a car. We have a firearm on us. We have some stuff on us. Can you come get us out of here, dude? It was a stolen car. My little brother's like, we're family. I'm on my way. Goes and picks him up, gets him out of trouble, and they're like, hey, can we spend the night? And he's like, he asked Heidi, who owns an expedition. And she's a hostess, or she's a waitress. So she had her tips in the glove box. And this is my little cousin and 2 of his friends. So she's like, yeah, you can sleep in my car. So they sleep in the car. One of the friends steals her tip money out of the glove box. Then my father finds out that the kids are sleeping in the car, and he goes, no, that's my nephew. Bring them in. And made him fucking pancakes. And then my sister tells him, hey, one of those kids stole my tips. My dad didn't say a word. He kept feeding them the pancakes, watched the kid eat his pancakes, and then told my little brother David, hey, by the way, that kid that just ate our food on our table robbed your sister for her money. Needless to say, it got figured out.
Yeah.
You know, but what ended up happening was they took off before my dad told my brother, because I don't think my brother has enough self-control to stop.
Right.
When someone hurts his sister.
He would choke him with the pancakes.
He would have tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to his sister, there's just no jokes, there's no games, there's no anything. It is just
Business, dude.
Yeah,
family.
that first guy that she cries over better be out of state.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about me, brother. My little brother is just, he freaks me out, man. I told him, I'll shoot you. I will not fight you, bro. I'll gun you down. You are no joke with them hands.
Yeah.
My dad put them in martial arts since they were like little kids, you know?
Terrible idea.
Yeah, and then they were raised by big brothers who had been in a lot of crazy situations, and I made sure to teach my brother, hey, this is how I got in trouble. Try doing it a different way. If you're going to be bad, don't do it this way. Or, hey, this way worked for me. Or, hey, if somebody is going to be violent with you, make sure you get at them quickly.
No.
Do not allow yourself the time to think about it and get scared. When there is a threat, you attack it immediately. In my opinion, in business, if there's a threat to your business, you go at it immediately. You don't sit and wait and hope it goes better.
It's the military.
In the military, if something happens, you eliminate the threat immediately. You do not let threats linger. I taught my little brother that. not knowing that he was going to be in martial arts for about 12 years of his life.
Yeah.
And apply these things.
And be 260 pounds at 15 years old. Yeah.
No, he was no, he was in football. He was ripped in shape. He didn't gain weight until he got shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he only weighed about 210 pounds until he got shot. Now
that's still a
it's
heavy
hard for him to
teenager.
walk.
That's a big boy, dude. I'm 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm 39 years old, 6'1".
And my dad would sick him like a dog on people, bro. If he's in the front seat, my dad would he'd get road rage. If me or my little brother isn't in the car with him, he's the nicest driver in the world. Put us in the car with him, and he's road raging like it's not. What you say? He's honking, swerving, cutting him off. Oh, you want to deal with you want to deal with it? Get out, guys. Get him. It's like, Jesus, Dad, you just cut the fucker off twice.
Want her, Dad.
Yeah, you just pushed him into the curb, and now we have to hurt him.
Yeah.
And my dad doesn't say things twice. He doesn't ask twice, because if my dad swung on me, I'm taking the licks, bro.
Yeah.
He earned that.
Well, you'd kill him if you fucking.
I would be.
What is he, 70?
Yeah, but still, he is still 320 pounds. His shoulders are this wide. I think he's.
Oh, he could hurt you.
If
but
he got a hold of me,
he still has a 70-year-old
if he got a hold
heart.
of me and shook me and shit, he could concuss me from that type of shake. But I've seen him. He picked me up by the throat one time and put me up against the wall. I seen him pick David up and throw him. My father had anger issues.
Yeah.
He had serious anger issues, man. I seen him throw an aerating hook at me like Leonidas. And it went right through the front window. And somebody was on the phone for him.
Oh.
And he was in a bad mood after work one day. And I'm like, hey, Dad, the phone. And he just lit me. What?
Just launched
and
a javelin.
and then it went right through his front window, and he had to replace. My sister was like, come on, let's get out of here. I was just telling him the phone was for him, dude. And he broke his own front window. Then that was my fault, too.
Of course that's your fault.
I ran, bro.
Of course that's your fault.
Yeah, I ran. Because imagine having your wife leave you for your brother.
I can imagine a wife leaving.
My father had so much stress applied to him, he had temporary Bell's palsy, bro. Half of his face started to sag.
Oh, I know
he was getting
is.
nerve damage from stress.
Yeah.
Nerve damage from stress.
Yeah.
Imagine your wife leaving you for your older brother and then trying to show up at your mom's house for Christmas. My aunts had to line up on the driveway and tell my mom she wasn't welcome. Because she's like, I'm in this family too still. And my aunts were like, your kids are not going to see you here tonight. This is not okay. You're not coming in. It was like they locked it. My aunts are very sweet women. None of them are like that, you know. All my uncles are really nice guys. They're all hardworking men, all blue collar. They married sweet women, had kids. But that was the first time I ever seen my family like that get together and say, hey, lady, you're not welcome here. And I was really happy they kicked my mom out.
Yeah.
Because my mom was the most unstable person, and we hated having to visit her because we had no idea where we were going to be. We had no idea what was going to happen. She never had a reliable car. She was always on cocaine and alcohol. And that mixture is pretty dangerous with children around.
I've done it without children around. It's dangerous.
It's not cool. You know,
yeah, of course
if you want to become a bipolar human being, like a dangerous bipolar human being overnight, do about an 8-ball and drink a bottle of Jack. I promise you're gonna have a diagnosis the next day, dude. That's just a promise.
I don't miss those days.
No, I don't. That's why I haven't drank since the war. I haven't drank alcohol since the war. Of course I've done drugs, but and I'm clean and in recovery now. But
drinking was an issue for you, though.
It wasn't. What happened was
your behavior was
when I drank.
That's what I mean.
I would get out of control.
I know.
And I am not a human being that can be out of control. The government put a lot of money into making it so that I was in control of a violent state. Yeah. In a violent state. When you take my inhibitions away, that control is now lost.
Yeah.
But that violent state is still present.
Yeah, it'd be like giving a gorilla PCP.
Exactly.